All right. Welcome. And I'm going to let you guys each, I guess we'll start with Erica, to do a quick little intro and just tell us who you are, your website, and what you like doing.
Awesome. Thanks, Lou. So my name is Erica Kastner, and I am the Queen of Results. So I love helping people, entrepreneurs, figure out that connection aspect of building relationships with their business. So I do that in a couple of ways. I do that obviously with networking's my jam. I love it, but I really more strategic partnerships. And then I also help people kind of leverage that through social media and give them time or some techniques on how they can save a lot of time and energy around the social media aspects of building their network. And we'll be doing some of that on Ellen's show in a few weeks. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, it's all in the family. And Ellen, tell us, I know you're like the queen of PowerPoint, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
People call me that all the time. That's not the name that I give myself.
You should brand it, girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so one of the things that I do is I help people build online businesses. I help online entrepreneurs. And I do that in 4 ways. There are 4 things I focus on. So one is your website, one is building your list, one is creating content, and one is with events and partnerships. And in the events and partnerships, that's where I focus on webinars as events. And that one of my specialties is PowerPoint or presenting. And it's an area that most people don't cover. They don't cover, because when you do webinars, everybody uses slides, but people don't do a good job of that. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
Cool, because now, so kind of what we have here is like the external extrovert networking with Erica and the sort of more introverted approach of like doing webinars. I call it like I kind of hide behind my slides, to be honest, because I'm an introvert.
I use that expression, and I often tell people that webinars are great for people who are afraid to speak publicly because you can kind of hide behind the slides, but it's not something I recommend. That's why I like Zoom so much. I love the fact that people can see you, like you can see me here. Hello, everybody. And so the fact that you can have both of those aspects together, I think it really helps engagement.
Yeah, I love Zoom. I mean, nothing against Blab, but I was just on a Zoom meeting and I could see the speaker and I could see the slides at the same time and chat. So you kind of have all of it going. Right. Erica, do you have a favorite social network or platform that you recommend?
Yeah, I have a ton. I mean, I actually, Twitter has been kind of my jam here lately because, I've been able to leverage that with the new podcast that I have, the ability to kind of bring on guests that kind of serve my niche and serve my market. It's been kind of an interesting platform for me to play in, and I actually like it a lot. So really? Twitter's my new jam.
That's cool because it's one of those, it's like tried and true, and sometimes it gets lost in all the new stuff, but, it's still a powerhouse.
No, it sure is.
I think Twitter's changed a lot. At the beginning, people actually had they followed a few people and they actually read all the tweets, they read them. But I think nowadays it's a lot more mass done. So you have to use hashtags because people are searching. People are using it more, as you say, Erica, strategically.
Except Donald Trump.
No, except for him.
But isn't it funny how, celebrities can start these kind of like Twitter wars. And I wonder who's really writing these? Do you think they're actually crazy enough to write them themselves?
Well, what's so funny is I actually, I'm pretty positive Polly on social media feeds, but yesterday I had an episode that kind of happened to me and I was almost like, I'm going to find her on Twitter and I'm going to start this war. Secretly, I was like, planning this Twitter war in my brain. I'm like, no, that's not good. That's not good.
I think Donald Trump writes his own tweets because I don't think anyone else could write those.
Yeah, that's true.
I just can't imagine anybody else doing that.
So, all right. So when Dre's here, she usually asks like the mistakes. So let's start with Ellen. Mistakes people make when they're doing webinars.
So I wanted to put it. One of them is that they don't brand them. So we were talking about branding. This is the main topic, I guess, of your Blab. So it's actually inexplicable to me. I see marketers who know and even tell their clients and customers to use images in all of their social media posts and all of their blog posts. And they talk about the power of images. They know that images are a way of conveying emotion, and they know that people buy on emotion. So they know all this stuff. And then they get in front of PowerPoint and they become stupid. I don't know what it is, but you see this over and over again with people who are good marketers, but in PowerPoint, they just write out all the notes and read them. And they might put in a little picture here, usually some kind of silly thing or small thing.
Yeah,
something like that. Something's kind of silly or whatever. And so they don't use the power of images for marketing. So the second thing specifically has to do with branding, and this is what I was telling you. I have a screenshot that I can share with people because people, they brand their website. Yeah. If they do brochures, they brand that. They brand their YouTube channel, right? So all their social media headers, they brand. And then they go into PowerPoint and they just pick some totally irrelevant theme that PowerPoint gives you and just totally ignores it. So this example that I'll put the link in when I stop.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
But well, okay. So I will just do it actually right now here. So it's just an image that I took, some before and after slides because we didn't. But so the woman has a website and she has two colors on her website: a kind of plum purple at the top, a banner at the top, a grayish purple, and bright green, Kelly green on the bottom, a kind of thing. And her headings are all green. So those are her colors, purple and green. You go to the website and it's like very clear. So she decided, okay, I'm going to use purple. So she just found some theme that was like this bright purple with like 4 quarters of different shades of purple, and then tried to put all of her text and her images on top of this massive purple, and it just didn't work. And then when you look at her website, you see the center part is white because that's where you put your text and where you put your images, and it makes sense. So I just changed that, and I first of all, I matched the color exactly. I used a color picker, so I matched. Well, you can do it in PowerPoint. I matched the color of her purple on her website. Created a banner at the top, and matched the green, and put a little thing on the bottom, and same thing for the green headings. I used the same color green, so you match it and just make it white in the middle. And so what happens is when people use images, you've seen images with the white square around the image or the black square around the image, and you put that on purple and it just looks so awful. But when you put an image with a white background on white, it looks nice, so it just opened up so many more possibilities.
Well, I'm guilty of I have a really short attention span, and Dre gives me a hard time about this too, but I go and find nice PowerPoint templates on like graphicriver.net. I'm like, ooh, colors. So I don't really have a very well branded template. I use different ones. I'm starting to finally, I'm going to use a blue background. I'm going to make it look somewhat like my website. So I'm getting there. But I think, when it comes to presentations and webinars and PowerPoint, most people are just like, they kind of, regurgitate all this text and then just read the bullet points. And that's no fun.
Yeah, it's no fun for the audience, that's for sure.
So, Erica, let's switch gears a little bit. You tell us about mistakes people make when it comes to networking. Is that what you want to focus on?
Yeah, networking, strategic partnerships. So, thank you so much for the floor. So, kind of touching on what Ellen said, it's a matter of taking that branding piece is so important, and I think a lot of times we know what we can do for clients, but if we're not narrowly focused on what we can do to help the specific target market, I think sometimes we go to networking events and we feel like, especially this is true in face-to-face networking events, and it's true in social media land, because groups are pretty popular in social media channels. And so what happens is that a lot of people end up saying, well, I can serve these 5 or 6 different things, but then they get lost in the shuffle and they meet all these people, make all of these connections, but it doesn't really serve their niche. It doesn't really, like, they really can't help them like the best, like in that instance. And so they end up wasting a lot of time. So if they don't identify their target market first and foremost, the second thing that's really important in that is once you define your target market, who is already talking to them? And that's who you should be networking with. Like, instead of going out there trying to find 20 people that could potentially be your client, go talk to 2 people that serve that market already, and then build a relationship with them, because they're going to be the ones that will help you build your pipeline and your referrals. You can also add collaborative efforts on their part. You can strategically plan blabs or other things out there to really form a more collaborative partnership as opposed to just a referral one. But the referral one is obviously what most people want, right? So defining that target market and then identifying who it is that's already talking to them will help you save a ton of time, money, and energy in your networking efforts.
Yeah. What about online networking? I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's, everybody wants to, pass the virtual business card and things like that. But are there tips for doing that online, especially if things like Facebook, where there's groups and there's group etiquette and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I just did a live video on this the other day. If you're going to join let's say in the context of Facebook groups, because that seems to be a hot button right now, read the dang description. Make friends with the admin, because if you start, I'm sorry if I can't say this, but you say you say badass, but
we say all kinds of bad things.
If you piss off the admin, you're gonna get booted, and you won't have that opportunity to connect with the people that are in that group. So get real savvy on what the group is all about, and if it fits what you're doing, then great, align yourself with it. If it doesn't, stay away from it. It's not necessarily something you should be putting your time and energy behind. I see people all the time that make the mistake of getting involved with 80, 100, 150 different Facebook groups. They're just bottled up with all the notifications. And then another good rule of thumb is, I'm not a big fan of being involved with a ton of Facebook groups. I mean, I like it from a networking standpoint, but I'm really all about using that as a leverage point, having conversations with people you're already meeting, as opposed to going out there and stirring up more relationships and wasting time on connection opportunities that probably won't pay off for either party, not just you, but for either party. So use it wisely and don't aggravate the admins in those Facebook groups.
Otherwise
nice and read their stuff.
Yep. And I'll ask you one other thing and switch to Ellen, because both of them have to do with LinkedIn. But what about, I think LinkedIn tends to get lost in the shuffle a little bit too, but do you do anything with networking when it comes to that LinkedIn? Yeah. I know there's a different etiquette there too.
There's totally different etiquette there. So, I'm actually looking, I'm definitely more narrowed down in my focus with LinkedIn. I'm probably more apt to connect with people that I already know on LinkedIn. Of course, I broaden my network on that platform as well, but it keeps me in present mind with my current network. I can share relevant blogs that I do, relevant videos that are helpful business tips in that platform, because people are looking for those opportunities. But again, it's more that most people are putting their online resume right there. So I can find a lot of intel out and I can speak to that and I can really help people. So I think if people utilize that and read the quote unquote resume, they could find out what they can do to collaborate with those people. But start with your own network, like the people that like and trust on LinkedIn. Right. And really build alliances there and then connect the dots from that point forward. But there is a different etiquette altogether with LinkedIn for sure.
Yeah, I just started doing LinkedIn Pulse and taking some of my articles and putting them up there, because I thought, rather than just rebroadcasting exactly what I'm doing on Twitter, I should probably do some content.
Well, and what's interesting is I was actually just at the Digital Footprint Conference in April, and I was actually, I can't recall exactly who said it. I'll have to get the speaker, but there was actually a presenter on there that said, your current content, your current blogs on that you're putting on your own blog and website right now, you can actually at this point put it on Pulse as a published post. And you're not going to get dinged from an SEO standpoint at this point. I mean, the way it's set up. So you might as well take advantage of that. And so many people are not. And I say it's repurpose that content for the intent that it is.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Ellen, speaking of LinkedIn, another thing I love about that, and you probably have had experience with this, is they own Slideshare. Is that correct still? And I try to put some of my presentations on Slideshare and then by default LinkedIn. Have you done that strategy at all?
So I haven't done it a lot. Slideshare doesn't allow audio. It used to have a very clunky way of doing it that didn't work very well. And to me, when you don't have audio, basically you have to put all the text on the slides.
Yeah.
So what you can do is have more slides, so basically the text is just in the title of the slide and then use the slides and do it. Slideshare is great because it gets a lot of traffic, but it's not great in the sense that it doesn't offer very much in the way of a complete experience like video does. So yeah, I do. I've been on Slideshare. I actually wrote a blog post for them a few years ago. I also just use LinkedIn as a social media place, and I have a whole side of my business that's much more corporate in the PowerPoint world. And so I'm a manager of this happened just by accident. It was kind of amazing, but I'm actually the manager of a group called Training Managers. And of course, training managers all use PowerPoint in training, or the people that work for them all use PowerPoint. So they do a lot of presenting, but that group has over 100,000 people in it. So it's it's a pretty powerful platform for me to be able to message them every once in a while. And I try to keep it, informational and not too marketing, and provide them with free resources. But every once in a while, I'll send them to something, and it's 100,000 emails that I can send out.
That's incredible. Yikes. And well, the thing that surprises me about Slideshare is, and maybe it's from the LinkedIn traffic, I don't know, but like I'll put a presentation up there, like you say, it's just the PowerPoint. There's no video, there's no audio, and I'll have 800-900 views, and I'm like, who the hell's watching this? Somebody's actually going through the slides, but there's definitely traffic there.
Yeah, there's definitely traffic there. I'm not quite so sure why. They started a long time ago. They were very early in it. Yeah.
All right, so we have a few minutes left. I'm going to ask each of you guys, what are you working on? What are you excited about? How can people engage with you? How can they play with you? All that kind of stuff. I guess we'll start with Erica.
Thank you so much. So right now, I just launched my own another podcast. I had a podcast last year, but I have a new one called the Power Factor Biz Chat. So right now, we're having a lot of fun with that because it's a 3 times a week show. My husband thinks I'm crazy.
That is ambitious.
Twice a week I interview guests. The other time it's just me and the microphone and I'm talking to the audience. But Power Factor Biz Chat, pfbizchat.com. That's the coolest place to kind of connect with that. But it's all sorts of really interesting resources for entrepreneurs who want to connect the dots and grow their business and build powerful and influential business networks and also business resources. So if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, you want those amazing resources and hear from these amazing leaders that are rocking and rolling in their own industry, that's the place to be. So that's my biggest baby right now. And of course, I'm going to be on Ellen's show in a couple of weeks. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. And then, Erica, how are you trying to get some of that podcast traffic back to your properties or your website? Is that difficult or?
Well, I mean, right now it's because I have thequeenofresults.com, and that's where people can find me from a coaching standpoint. So right now we're leveraging both websites, which is great, because we're sharing content back and forth. So yeah, it is. It's helping. It's only 3 weeks old, so I mean it's pretty young to see. It's a young podcast, but I'm getting a lot of traction on it, which is great. We're getting a lot of downloads. So time will only tell, and of course we're bringing things back to the Queen of Results empire, if you will. So that's what it's all about, is marketing and positioning me as the expert in the networking space.
Awesome. And Ellen, I know I've been on your show. Erica's going to be on your show. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's called Stork Power Half Hour, and it's once a week for half an hour, and we almost always do it live, which is I really like. And as we were talking about, we use Zoom so we can see, people can see the speaker, and plus you have the opportunity for slides in there. And the whole point behind it is that the speaker provides some information people can use right away in half an hour, so valuable information. So yeah, that has been basically a list builder for me. We've been doing it now every week for 15 months, which is pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I missed Yom Kippur or something like that, and that was sort of it. But Yeah, it's been going well. I could give a link just to go there directly, but I think excuse me. I think I would say people to just go to my website.
Yep.
And sign up, and I'll put the link in there. This is my my opt-in page. It's changetheworldmarketing.com. Get started, and that should work. I need to.
And Erica, if you want to throw a link in there as well, please feel free to do so. Because I'm not sure if I got the name of the podcast right.
But anyway, so when you do that, you'll get a PDF, which is done in PowerPoint, which called 13 Steps to a Successful Online Business. And remember those 4 areas. So there's a video training on your getting traffic, one on building your list, and one on creating an ebook. It's the content piece, and one on webinars, profiting with webinars. So you get all that. And then once you're on my newsletter, you'll see the invitation for the Star Power Half Hour, which is definitely worthwhile, because if you get on soon, you'll hear Erica. Yeah.
Do you have any other links, Ellen? I don't know. Again, it might be my ineptitude with Blab, but do you have any other links you want to post? I tried to pin that first one that you put up, but it wouldn't quite show it. It says click to view, and then it doesn't open.
Right. But, I see.
That's okay. It might be me or Blab screwing up. But I know you had a couple of, were they like before, after example kind of things?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, we can go they can go to the link within the chat.
Right. That's what they should do. Here it is again. So, and it's just an image, but it shows you an example of how someone can think that they're branding because they're using purple. Really kind of mess it up because it's just, way too much.
Yeah.
And how just giving some white space makes it possible to do some great things with images.
Yeah, and I have trouble because when I do webinars, I'm using the PowerPoint as the script, basically.
Right.
And so I know I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, here's the secret. It's really easy. Because if you're not showing your face, you can print out your script and you can read it, And so that's why webinars are so good for people who are afraid to do so. You don't have to put all that stuff on the slide.
Right.
Another secret is that you can put it in the notes pane at the bottom of PowerPoint, and you can share your other monitor if you have 2 monitors, and then have the presenter view. This little techie kind of thing, but have presenter view in front of you, so where your webcam is, and the notes show there, and so you can just read the notes on the screen. You don't even have to be looking down. So that even works with the webcam. And so Lou, send me a PowerPoint that you did and your website, and I'll give you. The thing is I'll make you a theme that you can use over and over and over and over again, and so you won't have to think about it.
But all the people at graphicrivet.net will go out of business because I'm not buying a theme every time I do a PowerPoint.
Those poor guys over there.
I like, I know that's the thing. And any questions in the chat for these guys before we wrap up? I know the PowerPoint thing because that's my main method of marketing is webinars, and I still use Webinar Jam and Hangouts, and I'm still okay with it because it works. I can go from on screen to my slides. I can jump over to YouTube and say, hey, watch how I do this, such and such. So, there's still something to be said for that. And as soon as I figure out how to do screen sharing and Blab, it's going to open up a whole new world of examples and stuff.
Well, if anybody can help me actually figure out how to do live video, stream in my website, I would be so excited about that. I can't figure that out yet.
There's got to be a plugin or something. And have you done Facebook Live yet, Erica?
Yes,
at all?
I have. Yep.
Yeah. I have to delve more into that, but how have your results been so far with Facebook Live?
It's kind of interesting. I've only done 3 of them, and 2 of them have been in my Power Moms group on Facebook. So it's been kind of an interesting hit or miss. Sometimes I get a lot of engagement, but a lot of it comes in after the fact. So, which I'm fine with too, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting the engagement, regardless if it's live or. I just can't answer those questions in a live mode, but it is what it is.
I know, and I just never know. I'm so used to pre-producing. I mean, this is the only real live thing that I do. I need to have, produce and add lower thirds and do this and do that. And then I go on and I see Joel Combs eating a donut, and that's and he has 8,000 views.
I know, right?
So
Joel Combs, he's quite the character.
Now I'm going to eat a donut. Okay. But no, he has really, really good content as well. So,
he does. remember, did you see Jeff was on Brian Basilico's Blab, and Jeff Herring came on, and I don't know whether he didn't want to show himself or not, but he had an actual skeleton.
The skeleton.
And he put a skeleton in the scene. He was just kind of off screen, and that was what you saw. It was pretty funny.
The most I can come up with is my bug, and when I'm like, I don't want to be on camera, I just put Rocco up there. So awesome! Thanks so much, you guys. I don't see any questions, but you can put your stuff in your link in the chat. Oh, speaking of Rocco, he's barking downstairs. So we'll wrap it up. I apologize for the technical glitches.
No worries.
Hey, we're all here.
This was
more
great.
the merrier.
This was good.
Except for Dre, she's gonna. I'm sure she's gonna have a few choice words for me. I probably sent her to the wrong Blab, but we'll be back next week, and we'll get it down correctly. And you guys are welcome back anytime.
Awesome, Lou. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Good seeing you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you soon.
Take care.